What's up, everybody? Another Sunday night means another great episode of The Ones Who Live. There will, of course, be spoilers here in my review, so you've been warned. Now let's get into episode 5. As always, we'll start with the story, move on to my thoughts afterwards. Episode 5 opened with Father Gabriel's return to the universe as he walks through the forest and takes down a walker on a journey we'll discover later on in this episode. Then we go back to Rick and Michonne out scavenging as they hit the jackpot, finding a ton of ramen noodles, but also see a walker that I'm like 99.999999% sure has Gabriel's machete stuck in its shoulder, and they just don't notice that. Further along in their journey, they hear screams and race to the help of three strangers being attacked by walkers with stones in their heads. They take them down with relative ease after Rick and Michonne craft up a great plan working together, and then they gift the strangers noodles only to have guns pulled on them for more. But Rick and Michonne are having none of that as they quickly disarm them and take their noodles right back because Michonne says you don't get noodles for pulling guns on people. Then we get a flashback to 3 years ago as Gabriel meets Jadis or Garbage Lady or Anne, all of the above, in the woods to just have a day to themselves once a year. Back in the present, Jadis has tracked down the lovers and gets a jump on them before the unstoppable force of Rick and Michonne flip the table, or in this case, a bed, and are on the offensive. They chase her towards the CRM jump point to keep her from getting back to them and telling them all about Alexandria, but injured, she has to stop for help, and we run into the same three people, or strangers, from earlier in the episode. With that came another flashback to 2 years ago, same deal, Gabriel and Jadis meeting in their spot for their annual day together, but this time, he asks her for help with food and supplies and all that, but she decisively denies, and Gabe doesn't really push back on it all that much. He's pretty passive there. Anyway, Jadis strikes a deal with these three strangers back in the present who are unknowingly making a second bad impression on Rick and Michonne as they set a trap for the pair so Jadis can kill them. They walk into the trap, obviously, but can definitely take care of themselves as they do so, and the three strangers are taken out by walkers. Well, they, after that, have a standoff with Jadis where she preaches about the CRM saving the world. During that, we kind of fade in and out of a flashback to 1 year ago, which was Jadis and Gabe's last meeting before now, and in this one, we see her pull a gun on him because he's a loose end to her. But in the warehouse, she grazes Rick's forehead before they double cross each other, which results in Jadis being bit and giving up the location of her file on Alexandria. She embraces herself as Anne, not Jadis or Garbage Lady or a member of the CRM before her death. The episode ends as Rick finally proposes to Michonne after getting the ring Gabriel found for him from Jadis, with Gabriel waiting for Jadis to meet him at their spot. Alright, really quick before we get into what I liked about the episode, I do have one nitpick similar to last week. It's kind of minor, not a huge deal, and actually it kind of does directly relate to last week, and it's a combination of the fight choreography and the camera work in a couple scenes. It just flat out doesn't look good. There's one scene specifically when Jadis finds him in the cabin and the fight breaks out, then Michonne hits her in the gut with an axe, and I was just brought completely out of the world with this show. A great action movie or show won't let you realize this stuff isn't real, even though deep down in your head you know it's fake, and this scene is a perfect example of that. Well, let's get right into these pros for this episode because dadgummit, they did it again. This was another really good episode, making this show 5 for 5 so far in my books. To kick it off here, we got to go back to last week actually, because I was wrong. I was bitching and moaning about both the fights, which I guess I was semi wrong because they could still be improved upon, and the walkers in this show. Well, these new Stonehead walkers changed that immediately. I love that we've seen this world progress so far past the early days in Atlanta that walkers are naturally and unnaturally, in the Daryl show's case, evolving. Also, I just love the story in this episode. Gabriel's involvement was great and phased in really well throughout the episode as we see Jadis's conflict with who she is and showing us her good side, her and side through interactions with Gabe. It was really smart. Finally, I absolutely love the end of the episode with Rick and Michonne getting engaged as we get a moment of love and peace and just calm before all hell breaks loose in the finale as they go after the CRM. And so that'll do it for my review of the fifth episode from The Ones Who Live. A really good episode with that smart cameo, a powerful death, and the setup for Rick and Michonne to do what they do best, fight. Go ahead and let me know what you thought of the episode, though, down in the comments below, and make sure you have a great day.